Sometimes I love you, sometimes you make me blue. Sometimes I feel good, at times I feel used. Over you, darling, makes me so confused. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never loved someone the way that I love you. Oh, I never felt this way. How do you give me so much pleasure and cause me so much pain? Just when I think of taking more than what a fool, I start falling back in love with you. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never loved someone the way that I love you.
Fallin by Alicia Keys. This is a nice slow ballad. The first thing to note is that this is in the 12/8 time signature. What that means is that we're going to have 12 eighth notes per bar, and the beats are split up into 3 eighth notes per beat, like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. This creates a nice slow swaying feel, and you get this a lot in ballads. We have 2 bars of piano, and then we come in at a mezzo piano dynamic, which means medium quiet. So keep it nice and low when you're playing this, nice and light on the hi-hats. And I recommend using the tip on the top of the hi-hat and not digging in at the edge, which you might do for a rock song. On bar 5, at the end, you've got a tricky little open hi-hat. And this is one of the first open hi-hats you have in grade 2, and it only happens once. So I'm gonna play that for you now. Show you again. 4 and And it's always good to practice going into the next bar when you have these open hi-hats. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and Practice it nice and slow so you can develop the coordination of the open and the close. It's worth noting that depending on which drum kit you have, whether it's an electric or an acoustic, they all feel slightly different, so you have to figure it out what works best with your own kit on the right amount of pressure and how much you should lift your foot. Now going forward on bar 6 and into the verse, we've got a fairly simple 12/8 groove here. Keep it nice and light, not just on the hi-hats, but also on the bass drum. Most of the songs you've played so far have been quite heavy on the bass drum. With this, we need to learn to tone it down a little bit, dial it back. It should sound like this. And not like this. On bar 9, you've got a nice little build up on the bass drums. So while it isn't implied that there is a build up, you can feel the natural momentum building up as you go into the chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and chorus. When you switch to the ride, we go to mezzo forte for the chorus, so a little bit louder, but again, it's not a rock song. We're not going super loud for the chorus. Fairly simple beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And at the very end of the chorus on bar 13, we've got a nice big accented flam. So do make sure you give it a nice big pop, like this. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And then drop it back down again for the next verse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and This song is all about the dynamics. You've got to bring it up for the chorus and bring it right back down again for the verse. For the second verse, they do not give you all the notation. They just give you the cont sim mark. Cont sim means continue similarly, so you can keep this 12/8 groove going. You can add some of the extra bass drum variations in the first verse. You've got a little bit of free reign on what you want to do. However, on bar 17, you will see that they have notated all those extra bass drums at the end of the bar. So they expect you to play those just like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Now at the end of this verse on bar 21, we have a fairly tricky fill which comes in on beat 2. So for the first beat, you're expected to play just what you normally do in the verse, 1 and a, and then the drum fill itself, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. You can keep your hands alternating for this one, just like this. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. Or sometimes, as I may have done in the playthrough, you can play the last beat on beat 4, right, left, left. And that can help you get back onto the ride cymbal for the last chorus. I'll demonstrate that with the different sticking. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Keep the energy up for the last chorus. And we got a nice big crash on beat 4 on bar 23. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And when we go to bar 25, the end of the song, I need a nice big flam on beat 3 on the snare, and another flam on beat 4 on the floor tom, on tom 3. Last bar is going to sound like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1. Make sure when you play beat 3 that you leave 1 beat's worth of space. This bit can be quite easy to rush or take too long, so count those rhythms as you play them. 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1. And that's it with Falling. Enjoy, and we'll see you in the next song.